Feeling good?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm feeling a little nervous now. I don't know
Me
why.
too. Yeah, I'm like kind of
Yeah.
self-conscious for some reason, but
Okay,
it's
so
nice.
I guess just at a base, mental health is a very day-to-day thing. So like,
Yeah.
how have you been feeling today about life and shit?
Well, today I woke up alone and went around downtown completely alone. Where years ago I would always want a friend to be with, especially downtown, somewhere where I don't live. So, me willingly making the choice to take myself on like little me dates is like a huge step forward. So today was a good day to catch me because
Mm-hmm.
I still have mental illness, but I can foresee like a day or like today I didn't wish I was dead. So
it's
that's like a step.
it's a step, right? Like you
Yeah.
and I both had time for like we weren't in that kind of place.
Yes.
So just
for sure.
context, general anxiety disorder and depression.
Depression.
Cool. And I'm currently on no meds. What are you taking?
I'm on Cipralex, 20 milligrams.
Okay, is that
Yeah.
like a lot? I'm still not like well versed as far as like meds go.
I'm not either because that's the first one I tried and it seemed to be working for me. And from my understanding of Cipralex, it's like the least interactive with other drugs. So my perception of Cipralex is that it's like not the strongest, for lack of a better word. So it's most people's good first try, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So it's doing its job.
Okay,
Yeah.
when you say that it's doing its job, like what do you like before and after? Like how has it kind of impacted you, and where do you need to go from here still?
A year ago, I was not on meds, and I had like little motivation, had trouble like just getting out of bed, just the stuff that you hear about depression. It's all real stuff. Just I don't know, no reason to find in yourself to want to go forward and all that stuff. So it's a wonder that I like thought of the idea, hey, maybe I should try meds because I tried therapy before, and not that it didn't work, but I wanted to try a new avenue. Meds has always been something on my mind to try, but there's always been a stigma around it, especially in my family, that it's like not a helpful or a permanent, not process,
Permanent solution?
permanent solution,
Mm-hmm.
but it like has been helping a lot, and I think I'm just downplaying my results
Mm-hmm.
because I still do have depressive days, obviously, but
Mm-hmm.
like I definitely wasn't as bad, and when I do get bad, I still have coping mechanisms to fall back on and serotonin in my brain. So I guess you could say that's working.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
kind of mentioned therapy at one point. Like I'm currently seeing a therapist right now. I actually just saw them this morning, which was
Nice. How was
and
it?
it was interesting. Like I went in feeling anxious, surprise about like just like just feeling anxious about like, you know, what's gonna happen in this. Like I always feel anxious like about not making progress over anything else. And like I think this is like my 6th session, maybe more or less.
Mm-hmm.
And like it's been going pretty well for the most part. And I was just like, it's been a little extra time just because of the winter holiday break.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen her in a little bit, so I was kind of feeling anxious going in about, you know, going into those feelings and seeing if like not even just going to like a negative place per se, but like more so just feeling negative about like, you know, this isn't gonna work out kind of thing. Like have you felt that in therapy before? Like
Yeah.
how so? Like what kind of stuff do you feel like? I know the struggle of trying to find a good person. Was it like that for you or?
I've only had one, just like the whole meds thing. I had my one therapist, and I'd like to say I get along with most people, so the rapport between us was good. She helped me with like um, listing a lot of coping mechanisms that I could be using, so that was great. She asked me about me, didn't make it about her or made it biased at all. What I had trouble with therapy was the guilt of being there in the first place because I felt like I didn't deserve it. I felt like my depression or mental illness at the time, I couldn't even say that I had it, and I still have trouble saying that I have it. I didn't feel like I was valid enough to be there because I wasn't as bad,
Yeah.
you know? So that's the trouble that I've had with therapy,
Yeah.
just going in feeling guilty.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be
What was it like for you as a kid? Like, was this something that you always kind of had growing up? Because I know, like, looking back on moments for me as a kid, like, there were times where, like, there was one memory as a kid, like, I I think my parents got mad at me for something pretty trite, and I felt really guilty about it, and like I held a knife to my throat,
there.
and I kind of realized in that moment, like, shit, this isn't a good feeling, this isn't a good thing. But I thought it was just like, I think I was in like grade 7 at the time. I thought I was just a melodramatic kid. I didn't really
Yeah.
think like there was anything really wrong. Were there like moments like that as a kid, kind of looking back on, or is this something that kind of developed a bit more as you got older?
Oh, first of all, I didn't know that. Thank you for sharing.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of things make sense in retrospect coming from someone who knows more about mental health, but like as a kid, I didn't know shit about mental health. Did you?
No, like no, I don't think
Yeah.
so. Like it's definitely like as we've gotten older, like we were both born in 1997, and like the timing of everything, like it's become so much more discussed in time since then, especially like over the past couple years with things like Bell Let's Talk. But
Right. Yeah.
yeah, even things like then, like it's obviously like steps and like miles ahead of like where people have been at before.
For
But I
sure.
feel like even then, like there aren't really any like hard conversations about mental health out there. Like I feel
Especially
like
growing up.
yeah, yeah.
Like, like at the same time about not knowing about mental health as a kid, that also meant we didn't know how to deal with it
Mhm.
properly. So I'd go as far as to say I was probably worse as a kid because I didn't know how to deal with, for example, parents yelling at me. Like I didn't react like a healthy way as a kid should. I like started a form of self harm where like if like I was getting yelled at in the car and I didn't want my parents to notice, I would like pinch myself really hard, and like I didn't know that that was a form of self harm, but it
Mhm.
is. So not knowing about mental health growing up kind of um, persisted the idea of not dealing with it well.
Mhm.
So in retrospect, I see it and I'm like, ah, yes, that was bad.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I feel that as a kid, like little things like, growing up not really realizing like the things that you're doing are toxic. Like I kind of mentioned there, like I don't know, I feel like our kids down the road are gonna have like so much more awareness about this. Like
I hope so.
meditate semi frequently. I'm not as consistent with it as I should be, but like if it's true about like this kind of stuff like being passed through genetics, like I want my kid to be like so prepped for this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
If it were to ever arise in any way, and even I think just meditation, things like that, it's good for just general mental health, even if you don't have like you know depression or any other form of a mental illness.
I'd say the
guess.
same for therapy too.
Yeah, like you're just going and you're talking about things, and nobody's perfect. Like there are some days where I'm feeling pretty good, and we'll just talk about like I feel like I'm too lazy at times. I wouldn't really attribute that to like my depression or anxiety or anything, but like it's nice just kind of like getting to the root of like certain feelings. And like I'm kind of bummed out it didn't work out for you because it does help with the right person kind of thing. Have you ever really like thought about going into that more down the road? Or
Into therapy?
yeah.
It's not that it didn't work out. I was just not finding the motivation. There it is again. Not finding the motivation to go back into it. So it stopped because I kept being late to sessions, and when you're late a certain amount of times, they're like not booking any more things. So that was
Really?
partially, yeah.
Huh, I didn't know that.
Well, I think
That's-
like every school is different. But,
Oh, you were going through your school as well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So probably partially my fault. And then I just didn't get back to them. And I definitely would. I just, for some reason, don't feel the urgency to do so, even though I know it would be good for me. And something a friend we both know, Clara, has told me is that you shouldn't wait until you're bad to get help.
Yeah, that's the
It's
thing. Like
always good.
I've seen like 2 therapists, or I've seen 3, but one of them was shit. The first one I saw, it was or like the first good one, I guess. Like it was just bringing me to a place where like I wasn't drowning. Like that's where I learned a lot about meditation. Like it literally just brought me to a place where I wasn't, struggling to get out of bed every day. Like it helped me out just a little bit. And then this next person, I feel like I've been in a lot better of a place recently.
That's good.
It's about just getting to those like really nasty places, and like even then I still don't really know how to deal with it. Like there was one point today where we were just talking about like the feelings that come up over like a certain kind of anxiousness. I'm forgetting the details of it specifically. But she was like, just try to explore those feelings a little bit. So I went within myself and kind of like took off, I guess I started calling it like a safety blanket, like
Oh.
over like the bad feelings. And like I feel like one thing I like about myself, there's something I wouldn't have said like 5 years ago, is that I feel like I'm good at like analyzing what's going on within me. But
You
this,
are.
yeah, but when I immediately took off that cover, like just and I was feeling like very like just kind of going into those anxious feelings, I had no idea how to label it, and I had no idea how to like dive into it. Like it was terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Like yeah, it's I don't know, and that's why I think therapy is good, because those terrifying moments like that, like I kind of worked through it a little bit, but I still don't have a great idea what that feeling was inside.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a lot you can't really get that just from like talking to friends. Like
Yeah.
as much as talking to you and talking to people help, like you're with a person that's been like trained their whole life or something like this.
Yeah, exactly. And they like really know how to help you confront your own feelings, because like that's hard to do when you're with a friend, someone who's biased. Not that friend therapy isn't good. It's great. But
yeah,
like
talking to people in general, it's like even if it's a stranger, like I feel like most people nowadays, like you go to someone on the street and say like, man, I'm having a terrible day, I feel terrible.
mm-hmm.
Most people would probably say something to you, like maybe they'd be taken aback, and if they don't want to help out someone who's clearly in need, then they're not worth your time.
Exactly.
But like there's always people out there, kind of thing. Is
exactly.
trite and terrible as it is to hear that at times, like there's still moments where I'll hear like something positive and just immediately reject it just because like it doesn't connect. Like do you know that song by Logic, the mental health song? Have you heard that before? The
I
mental
didn't
hotline.
listen to it because it sounded generic.
That's the thing. Like there is a decent message behind it, but like he has ad libs throughout. He's like he says something like to the effect, I don't remember the exact lyric, but like in the chorus it's like, I've been out of my mind, I feel like I'm losing my mind, something like that. And then there's just an ad lib in the background like, hey, who can relate? And I'm like, it's
Sorry.
no, yeah,
What?
it sucks. But like so many people are like attached to this song, so like a part of me is like, is it because like I'm not a positive person and look down on this negatively, or is there like a legitimate problem with that? Because I feel like a lot of like the discussion around mental health, like in our culture, society, whatever, I hate saying society for whatever reason, like I feel like some of it is just like the most bare bones conversation, like not really being scared to kind of use words like suicide and self-harm and like things.
Did he not say those words in his song?
Well, he said like, I don't want to be alive. And it's like, there's nothing, like, it doesn't have to. His song doesn't have to do that. But like,
yeah, it's not a rule.
Like, just in general, like, conversations I find, like, don't really say scary things like that. Like, it's always just like, you're not alone and stuff like that. When, as when you're in a negative place, you just naturally reject that.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Because it doesn't feel genuine. And that's why I didn't listen to the whatever number the song is. I didn't listen to it because I don't know. I guess I'm just being pessimistic, but I didn't bother hearing it because I thought it was just like his one song about mental health awareness with the number in the title, and then he would move on and make other general Logic songs. Like I just thought it was like a money trap, which is a stupid way to look at it, because I know it like helps with like mental health awareness.
And there are definitely people out there that have connected to the song as well.
Exactly,
right?
Yeah. So not to invalidate that at all. I haven't listened to the song, so
yeah,
I don't have a good review of it.
He seems like a nice guy.
He seems like a nice guy.
He seems really genuine, but like, yeah, just this approach. And he said even he struggles with anxiety, and he probably has like, I've never heard him say anything specific. It's probably something like me, like generalized anxiety disorder. Yeah, I don't know, but it's whatever. His heart's in the right place, and that's what makes me have some respect for it. Like,
that's where most people's hearts are, at least. They're mostly in the right place. It's how you say things. The approach is really important in terms of reaching out to people and then actually getting it to absorb in their heads, you know? So that's why I'm like, I was telling you earlier, very particular with tweeting #BellLet'sTalk stuff on Twitter, because I didn't want to be the person who tweeted something too generic that was just like, hope is there. Like, I didn't want to not relate to someone, But I could.
It's tough to be personal through a tweet, though, as well.
Yeah,
right? Like,
that's true.
Even just like reading, like if you read something really heartfelt, like it's pretty easy to just project that immediately.
Oh, yeah.
Just like, oh, that's their experience. It's not my experience. They don't know me. Like
That's
that mindset of like, I'm the only person that's feeling this. I feel like that we've all been there.
Oh, yeah.
And it makes it that much harder to work through, because like, it's it's hard to admit that there's other people in the same situation as you because it feels so real to you, and obviously things
Yeah.
like that are, but like it's
It's like really easy to retreat into the mindset of no one understands my specific feelings. And
Mhm.
while that may be true, there are like bits and pieces of your experience that at least someone out there can relate to, like
Yeah,
that
of
piece
course.
of it. So it helps
Mhm.
to at least talk about that and try and like find someone, I don't know, who can relate to at least a word in what you're saying.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. Parting message here.
Oh, shit.
What's
Um,
gotta think fast, dog.
all kinds of therapy are good. I'm not just talking about like actual therapy, counseling therapy. I'm talking about meditation. That's a form of therapy. Hanging out with your friends is a form of therapy. Taking yourself on me dates. This is very me based. Sorry, I'm listing all the things I did today. Taking yourself out on me dates as self care is a form of therapy. Listening to music is a form of therapy. Like there
Eating healthy.
eating healthy is a
That's
form
a
of
big one.
therapy. Yeah. Just knowing that not only do you have options for people as a support system, but you have options in terms of how to take care of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
There are different kinds of therapy, not just like organized therapy. So you have different options. If one of them doesn't work for you, you can mix and match and choose whatever works to make you feel better inside. That's
Nice.
important. Thank you. How about
That's
you?
good. Okay. Now I feel that pressure. Like summarizing one thing, like, I don't know. It's hard to say something like without sounding generic because I
Of
know like
course.
pretty much anything I could say now, like it wouldn't really truly connect with me like when I was at my lowest like a year or two ago.
Okay.
I don't know. Like there's probably some combination of words out there. Maybe this guilting will relate to someone, like that feeling of like, I can't connect to what this person's saying, and that's fine. It is what it is, but look within. I guess don't be scared to like acknowledge your feelings for what they are. Even like writing like I feel bad on a sheet of paper is therapeutic. Things like that. Like just find a way to like get your feelings out and like really, just express them and find a way to channel it, kind of thing. If you're not comfortable talking to other people yet, like art is great for that. Like music, visual art, films, like
Great outlets.
I know people lose their motivation and lose interest in things like that, but when you see a good film or see something that really resonates with you, it will still stick.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And if it's a song by Logic, then that works too.
If that makes you become your own artist and make that your therapy, like getting your stuff out there is your form of therapy because of Logic, then so be it. Then it worked. Logic did its job.
Yeah, what's the word? Snobby.
Yup.
We-
I have a question for you actually, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure.
Why did you want to make this video?
Oh, that's a good one, because, well, you know the answer to that already. 'Cause
I
we
don't.
talked-
I'm asking you.
No, I told you about this on the walk here.
I forgot. I blacked out.
Basically, like, I wanted to have a conversation with someone that was, like, very, like, just open. Like, I haven't had many conversations with friends where, like, like you said, you didn't know that thing about me before where, like, I held a knife to my throat when I was, like, in grade 7. I wanted to talk with someone, just very openly and just kind of break through like the standard, there are people out there and you have support, kind of like you said, like those basic, grade 1 things you could say to help someone feel better. So yeah, I don't know. Hopefully it does that. I hope this isn't a weird thing to do. But yeah.
I don't think it's
Thank you
weird.
for
Do you
talking
think
to me.
it's weird? I thank you for talking with me. This is like a really good idea.
This was great.
Therapy, friend therapy.
Okay,
Oh, so glad you're in my life.
Hey, thanks, man. You
Matt
too.
Collins.
Okay, I'll
Tell
end
your friends you love them.
it. It's already ended up.
Damn
It's
it!
fine.
No, wait, come back.
Okay, how long did this go for? 20 minutes.
Oh shit.